Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the European Masters as we're getting ready to go into our third and final game of this best of three between GamerLegion and Vodafone Giants. It's one apiece, and it feels like both of these teams have had a read on each other in their victories. I hope that kind of all amounts together and we have a really, really solid game where both of these teams are kind of playing mind games with each other. And I think the mind games will start in Champs League because it's GamerLegion and they're on blue side.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder facing GamerLegion when they're on blue side, I feel, because you kind of force into some bans like the Hjarnan, like the Hjarnan, that are kind of mandatory from what we've seen of them so far. So it definitely limits your options. Ultimately, we've seen both teams. The one who comes out ahead is the one who transitions from that early to mid-game successfully. So I'm looking at what tools they can give themselves to enable there. GamerLegion, we've seen the Thresh, probably going to be a Kali again, and then Ornn if they're going with the same bans, but they could shake it up. For now, it stayed the same. Vodafone Giants, we're getting the Hjarnan. Likely going to see Lucian Hjarnan here in terms of bans based on what we've seen so far.
Well, pretty much the same bans in the entire series. No one's really willing to give anything up here. They're happy with their picks. It's the execution is what needs to
There are times when you give over powerful picks.
Yeah.
Game 3 in a best of 3 for knockouts in EU Masters is not one of them. You don't risk it. You're not like, hey, do you reckon we can beat Kai'Sa now? But we do see that for GamerLegion. They left the Ornn open, more concerned about the LeBlanc, which I think is a fair call because Pretty was devastating on that champion this last game.
Let's see if there's a shift here, whether or not they decide to ban away the Heimerdinger again. I think they found a way to deal with the Ziggs.
I hope for their sake. It's going to be the Heimer. Yes, I hope for their sake. You just don't want to risk it, but let's just leave that Nidalee open and available. This has been a huge priority in EU Masters that wasn't so much before, but they are going to leave it. They're going to take the Ornn, likely for phones, but not definitely.
Yeah, and the big thing is if they do this lane swap, Ornn can kind of deal with the wave a little bit better than something like a Kled. So it has a bit more wave clear available to it. And obviously, even if it does get put far behind, the level 6 is still impractical. So see what they decide to do for now as Lamabear once again gets his hands onto that Nidalee. And it looks like it is going to be the Sion for him.
Yeah, and I mean, Sion is great in those swaps. Fair's better because you get the extra jungle camp and then has good wave clear. Ornn, I'd say that it doesn't have the same diving potential that the Kled has if you rotate down, but we saw that even that was enough for GamerLegion. So I think Vodafone got a lot of comfort for the top jungle in these picks. Now comes down to GamerLegion. Will we see a mage from Hjarnan here? Will we see Nite picking up his champion? But we're going to see a jungler from Rabble, so taking the Nidalee, the Kindred into the Nidalee. Both champions that want to look to challenge, want to look to snowball. With Kindred, it's for the stacks. With Nidalee, it's just having that efficient farm.
And I think we look at game 2. We look at Rabble's performance in game 2. He was there, but he wasn't really there. So Rabble didn't find too much. Picking up the Kindred, he needs, like you said, to go for that snowball. And I want to see Visdom group up with him like they did in game 1. But the standard pick comes in, it's the Ziggs for Hjarnan.
And the critical thing is now with the Kindred, you have protection for that Ziggs. You have a great safety net in terms of that ultimate to keep the Ziggs safe. The Nautilus is going to come in ahead again for Erdote. It was a big pick, but I'm feeling a bit more confident in GamerLegion now. They have a lot more protection for Hjarnan on this champion. We'll go in the second rotation. I think support is going to be a big priority for Vodafone Giants, but they could also look towards that mid lane on the back of Nite. But I think ultimately it's sort of eliminating picks like the Braum and the Leona are big ones into the Nautilus, but to be honest, you're probably not going to play Braum with a Ziggs, so Galio makes a lot of sense. Visdom has been picking it.
Over to GamerLegion. Where are they going to pinch is the question for me.
80 carries.
Probably 80 carries. Yeah, probably the 80 carry pool.
Mid lane pool can be a bit wide. They may throw an Ornn ban. That's something they have obviously left open now, but they are, that's a likely one. Caitlyn, obviously really high priority. You don't often see her come into the second rotation of bans, but obviously a bit of a unique situation with GamerLegion being here. Vodafone Giants, Leona makes sense to me, denying that away from Visdom, especially because it has a good matchup into that Nautilus, although we'll have to see. And then for GamerLegion, it's do you want to take away the Aphelios in this situation? Now, that's something you're concerned about because it definitely was problematic.
But there's still things left open. They banned the Kai'Sa. Second ban phase last game for GamerLegion. The Ashe has been left open the entire series, and we haven't seen either team look to pick that up. You can obviously have it more engaged if you add the Ashe into your team. For now, though, Pretty is going to ban away the Aurelia. They don't want to give that over to Nite. And over to GamerLegion, looking for their final ban. A lot of 80 carries left open. The Jhin as well. We'll see what they decide to ban away. Is going to be that Kai'Sa once again. Meaning Attila can take the Aphelios, can take the Ashe, can take the Jhin. There's a lot open to him.
Yeah, and the question is going to be, actually going to go for the Kai'Sa here.
Okay.
So, bit of dive potential on the back of that. Can obviously challenge in those, if you go for dive across the entire team, you can obviously challenge the backline. Great synergy with Nautilus, but It does mean they've opted in the bot lane already. It gives Visdom the opportunity to counterpick, something that he does like to lean on heavily. He's done a lot of counterpicking throughout this tournament. So we'll see what he comes out with. Leona is still an option, which is something he leans on, especially in this matchup.
Yep, looks like probably will be that Leona logged in. And one of the things to note is obviously you've got the Nautilus Kai'Sa lane. It is the old classic when these two used to go up together. Obviously get those plasma stacks and all that extra damage to work with. And now it's over to GamerLegion to round out their comp. They're looking for a mid laner for Nite. He is picking him up blind here. There are still a fair few things open to him.
Just take the Orianna yourself in this situation for Nite. Alternatively, does favor things like the Silas, but I feel like there aren't great ults to choose from. So we'll have to see. In the end, actually opting for the Sett. So looking for that hard CC sort of mid laner. Adds a little bit of 80 damage, but honestly, you tend to see the tank Sett mid, so not too much, but a lot of team fighting tower, and ultimately, a lot of issues for Attila. You have that ult, point and click. If you get in range at Nite, you could be in trouble.
Absolutely. It means also if Lamabear finds himself in the middle of the team, they can slam him out. All the extra health he'll have as well will really hurt there. But Pretty going to pick up the Corki, something that's just going to be able to poke and deal with Nite from a range.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a fair amount of poke from the side of Giants, but ultimately the Corki just scales incredibly well. Compare the likes of a Sett, who especially full tank. He still has relevancy in how useful he is in a fight, but he's not going to be doing those massive magic damage crits that a Corki does. Now, this is a pretty heavy AP profile team for Vodafone Giants, so I expect to see Attila going for the AD build. Otherwise, they would be lacking in that AD damage, especially with 3 tanks on the side of GamerLegion. But ultimately, I feel like both teams have come away with some refined tools from previously. I am kind of thinking that GamerLegion have opportunities in the early levels, particularly with a Sett in the mid lane, a bit more ability to impact the map prior to the Corki. But when Corki gets that package, Vodafone can look to capitalize on that.
Taking the Ghost as well, so he is looking to be really, really active on the map. We don't see Ghost all that much. We do see it from time to time. It does work a little bit like a Jinx passive now, where you get the resets when you get the kills of it. So it's quite good for extended fighting.
It's kind of like specifically a Sett mid thing. Yeah. They tend to go the Ghost because one of the biggest issues with Sett in the middle, well, Sett in general, is that he is great when he's up in your face, but it's getting up in your face that is the critical thing. If you can do that, then he's in a comfortable spot, and Ghost really facilitates. Now, again, Giants looking towards the bot lane here. Visdom should spot them out.
They do hug that wall for a fair amount of time, but Visdom is able to dodge away on everything and make his way towards Hjarnan. He's going to send a love tap to Vodafone Giants, and it looks like the invade is starting up. As we're not going to get that lane swap we had in the last game. Maybe down to the fact that, like I said, Phones is able to kind of clear the wave a little bit more effectively, so they don't feel comfortable doing it.
We'll get the vision control and then be forced away. Now, actually, GamerLegion didn't go deep with their vision. And actually, I think they need to rotate over because Giants haven't left.
Rabble on that ward, doesn't know he's been seen yet. Erdote's looking for the hook, is going to connect it. Rabble jumps away. The Ignite is on, and Antonio misses out onto Nite with the Decimating Smash. Pulls him back with a face breaker. Rabble's going to put a little bit of additional damage into him. Antonio goes low, has to flash over the wall to safety. But both of these teams are still not willing to give up around this red buff. It's a 5v5 at level 1. Visdom takes a lot of damage. Phones is coming in on that flank. Has got himself the Q to work with as Nite actually pops the Ghost. Comes in with a face breaker. Only lands it onto 1. Decimating Smash misses once again. And Attila firing away as the spear connects. And Hjarnan just trying to throw the bombs over the wall. Nite very, very low HP. Hjarnan continuing to poke away over the wall onto this ward. And neither team is just giving up. This is pure stubbornness from both of these teams.
Said again.
Another face breaker into the Decimating Smash. This time it's flashed away. Visdom doesn't take the hook. And it looks like these teams are still going for the red buff. Hjarnan almost out of mana. And Nite has got that flash available to him. This time they do land the hook. This time the health bars are low. And that's going to be first blood to Attila. Rabble, though, continuing to contest, continuing to fight for this. As the smite is landed and Rabble finds the kill. Now it's Attila taking a lot of damage. And Visdom maybe looking for that Zenith Blade. But they're not going to do it. They're going to step away. That was madness.
What a fiesta, in all honesty. What an absolute fiesta. Now, the kill goes over to Giants, so gold advantage to them, but momentum to the side of GamerLegion because Rabble is able to pick up the red buff. Already level 2, can start working on the rest of his camps. And in return, Phones actually die and means he TP's top first and gets a little bit of an advantage there. So overall, I think both teams got something, but very messy, very extended level 1 in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Doesn't look like Attila actually is going to go spend that gold yet. Should just try and look towards getting a pickaxe earlier as soon as possible for himself. As Nite got poked out heavily, and now Pretty's looking to try and contest into him, but Rabble's making his way forward. It's just going to help Nite shove this wave in and go for a reset early, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Pretty just able to walk it away, and obviously big factor with the Corki is the safety. Having that Valkyrie available means able to mitigate the pressure quite early on. Now, Rabble actually leaning towards the top side where he has priority, able to pick up that scuttle, but you can see there's a mark on the bot side of the map, and Lamabear will just deny that bot side scuttle away from him.
He didn't pick that crab up.
He miscalculated on the red buff.
That is unbelievably bad for him, because that actually means Lamabear,
right, you know
he's going to have time to go for his red buff if he wants to
I was
contest.
saying about that early momentum and all that?
Yeah.
Forget it. Just forget it.
There you go. This time he makes sure he kills it. Now, is Rabble going to move over and try and take his red buff? He does have pressure in the mid lane. Looks like Lamabear just going to go for an invade on the response, so realizing that Rabble's probably doing this.
Yeah, but would be a little bit faster if he hadn't messed that up. It's unfortunate it happens in Game 3 of a knockout series, but ultimately mistakes do happen. Lamabear going to continue with a split map situation, which means Attila and Erdote can play aggressive, can step up. Now, they are a bit behind in farm, and this is ultimately because of the fact that Hjarnan and Visdom got to lane sooner. We actually saw a reset come out from Erdote because he was so low. Attila actually potentially going to look for one here. He's been chunked out. This could be a bait. We see Lamabear in the vicinity. The hook doesn't connect.
I do want to note, while Lamabear and Rabble just invaded each other, Lamabear full cleared the camps. Rabble hasn't, so this actually means that the resets are going to be slightly off for Lamabear, but I think for the moment he doesn't really care as that hook will land onto Visdom. Visdom has the flash, looks for the Zenith Blade onto Lamabear, can't quite find it as Attila takes a fair chunk of damage. The Ignite used by Erdote, and that is the flash by Visdom down.
That's a lot of big investment, in all honesty. The fact that Lamabear spent so long there, and as you said, those camps in the top side map for Lamabear are not going to reset. Rabble is still clearing, still finding momentum. Lamabear is not going to be able to do so. He's just going to fall behind because when he checks his top side, he will find nothing to pick up. So Rabble makes a mistake, but he does manage to answer back in a way that sort of does put Lamabear behind.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, when do you think either team's going to start to look for stuff? Obviously, there's been action, but like, where's the main kind of thing we're looking for in this game? Visdom, they're not actually going to commit for that one.
So I think first resets come in. Rabble has the red smite. Nite is closing on at level 6. I think this is a moment where GamerLegion can really look to apply some pressure, especially before the Corki has the package available. So I actually want to see GamerLegion being proactive now. Whereas for Giants, you can sort of lean a little bit later. You have two hyperscaling carries. You have a mega tank in the top lane. I don't think Giants are under too much pressure to make anything happen immediately. And ultimately, they can just wait until they have, for example, the package spike for the Corki.
So the onus is on GamerLegion to accelerate the tempo of the game. As Lamabear now will find out these camps and have to reset them for himself. The Krugs as well have to be reset for Lamabear, but that is going to slow him down significantly as Rabble's doing the camps, but was started up by Lamabear earlier. So Lamabear starting to suffer a little bit for that earlier clear, and now the first mark will go over to Rabble.
Yep, we'll get that payoff and obviously set Lamabear behind. So Lamabear doesn't really have any options here. I mean, you can invade the enemy jungle, but someone already cleared all those camps, so you're not having a good time. And on a Nidalee, you always want to be farming. If you're not farming, you want to be doing something. If you're not doing something, you're farming. That is literally the cycle. You go from what you farm towards your objective or where you want to apply pressure, and then you farm when you're going back to the other side of the map. And for Lamabear just to be walking about, it is not in a good position. And Rabble has taken this opportunity not only to get that scuttle, but also the first dragon off the game.
Really, really good stuff here from Rabble. We said that we saw an underwhelming game from him for Game 2. I think that's fair to say on the Skarner. Yep. And you know, he's come into this game, gone, right, I need to be more proactive, pick something that also, you know, I would argue is a little risky. You do want to kind of get going with it, but he's been able to make that effective while also slowing Lamabear down.
I mean, especially you're playing Kindred as the main AD threat for your team. It's a team composition that only has 2 carries. If this Kindred doesn't get that 4-stack spike, if he doesn't snowball to an extent, he really will feel useless, and the composition kind of flounders without him. So there is a huge amount of emphasis on Rabble here. It's a confident pick, but if he manages to step up with it, they will have a really solid team fight on the back of that. He has just hit that level 6, feeling pretty strong on the back of that, and he is now going to be able to clear his topside jungle, has been able to find a lead over Lamabear.
Yeah, Antonio's making his way over. Actually has the charge, and Nite's already been taken low. Flashes away to safety. Nite able to survive this for now. So they invest 3 members mid lane. This could result in them turning this into a Rift Herald if they like. But for now, it looks like Lamabear's looking to go into Rabble's jungle.
No, I think you go for the Rift Herald. You've already moved Erdote up. But he's actually going to be able to reset here for the package if they need it. So you're in a very comfortable position to do this. I don't think GamerLegion can contest this by any means.
Looks like Phones is stepping up. Rabble actually wants nothing to do with this. He knows it's going on. Nite has made his way over. No Ghost, no Flash available to him. Half health here, but Pretty has that package. And it looks like Hjarnan, with the ultimates, making his way over as the Call of the Forge God comes down. They are looking for the fight. Nite is inside the pit, and they're going to throw down the Mega Inferno Bomb. That'll be the end of days for him, but Rabble finds himself a kill as the Antonio takes away the Rift Herald, and now Paris, being chased out by Rabble.
Honestly, considering it's a 1-for-1, considering the fact that Pretty came in with package, I feel like GamerLegion, that was okay, in all things considered. That should have been a free Herald for Giants. And the fact that it didn't lose that much off the back of it, because I honestly saw the package coming in, I was thinking this could be devastating. And the fact that Giants had already moved their support over. The execution wasn't exactly perfect, ends up being a 1-for-1, but the end result is Giants still have the package, and the Herald, and they're looking to throw it down top lane, give some extra gold over to this Corki.
Yeah, Phones has got Rabble at his back, so they are just going to inject gold. This won't be any risk for a turret going down. Pretty will be zoned away, but he will be in range to be able to pick up that gold, so that's not the end.
I actually don't think he was. That was 320 gold that went onto the Antonio. I actually think they denied Pretty that.
That's really big. Now, the key thing I do want to note is we got the Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. That last fight where they traded 1-for-1, they traded package as well. Package now not being available for Dragon is pretty big.
Yeah.
And that means that if they want to sync their package up for the next Dragon, that is the next time they have package for Dragon will be 3rd Drake.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, is that what Corki's often like to do with such a priority in securing the Dragons is you pick up the package for the 1st Dragon, and then from then on, every time Dragon's up, you have the package. That won't be the case, as you said. And it means that it's going to be difficult for Giants to get in on this. Ultimately, we're seeing Pretty on a mana immune. Obviously wants to be stacking that up. It isn't super relevant right now. Really needs a Triforce to have a bit more oomph behind his auto attacks. And Attila's got a BF sword and a Coalfield. Really, again, not too relevant. So this should be GamerLegion's Dragon to secure. And having 2 so early is pretty rough for Giants.
Looks like they are going to get their resets off before that comes up, though, before they have to deal with that. And I believe Rabble just got his 3rd stack there. I think that Krug was a stack. Not Krug, sorry, the Grom was a stack for him. So this is a pretty good start here. You were talking about that 4 items. Sorry, not 4 item. I mean, 4 items, nice for a Kindred, but the 4 stack spike for the Kindred, obviously increasing the range and the extra damage you get to work with. Really, really big stuff for Rabble.
I mean, it's first 4 and then every 3 after, but the first 4 is the biggest. If you don't have that, you are useless. I'm just going to be completely honest. You're an ult bot, essentially. So Rabble getting those is critical.
Getting them early as well.
Yeah, the earlier the better. And he has actually pulled up a sizable lead over Lamabear. This is a farming jungler. Nidalee is one of the fastest players in the game, on the level of the likes of Lilia and Karthus, and is substantially behind because Rabble has navigated this so effectively, because he left those camps up, and it meant Lamabear had so much time where he was just doing nothing.
And this is a Lamabear special as well. It's a champion he's played so much. He's got himself a 900 gold deficit to Rabble. The attack speed boosts get picked up for Rabble. It looks like everybody on GamerLegion are starting to move their way up and try and get some vision control back in their favor around this Dragon area. Cloud Drake will be a nice pickup for them. Accelerates the potential for the Soul as well. As remember, Pretty, no package available. Has to keep that in mind. Phones has teleport, so he's just going to shove the wave in. Actually, let's say GamerLegion is just going to give this up. He wants that stack more than he wants the Dragon. And you know what? I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it does delay that sort of Soul potential win condition, but it gives a lot of strength over to the Kindred right now. And they are just going to lean towards the top side and apply some pressure there. It's going to be an Infernal Soul again, so huge amount of emphasis on that, especially with the amount of damage potential on the side of Giants.
As well, Ziggs, it's going to be so big.
I mean, it's really fun playing Ziggs with Infernal Soul, I'll be honest. That is probably one of my best gaming experiences. But they are looking to dive the Antonio. Erdote is coming along, though.
Yeah, he is making his way over. Antonio's trying to buy some space. His Phones misses out. It's the Decimating Smash will connect onto Rabble, choking him pretty heavily. He takes the Death Charge. Call of the Forge God's going to get thrown down as the Lamb's Respite will keep Rabble alive for now. Healed up as it ends, and Antonio will lose his life. Rabble finds the kill. And the teleport's too late, but Pretty has got that package, so if he wants to commit, can go for it. Visdom gonna make his way out of there as it looks like Vodafone Giants aren't able to find more.
Yeah, so a little bit of late TP in from Pretty. Package will sync up the Dragon now to 4-minute cooldown, so 4 minutes till the Dragon, he should be fine. But ultimately, GamerLegion managed to get that kill there, get some damage in the tower. And Hjarnan, he is fine, alone in the bot lane. Do you see TP coming in? They are wanting to commit to this. This is going to be Phones turning up, and that means the tower's gone.
Phone's a little sad there. Actually, Phone's got the gold as well. If he was like half a second later, that would have been all the gold injected into Hjarnan. Hjarnan already has the Ludens on their space. Is going to probably get boots upgrades.
Yeah,
hit the Ludens, and then I missed important grammar, if I'm going to be honest with you there, Orcs.
Grammar's hard sometimes.
He now has the Sork boots on this base, so a little bit extra damage to work with. And like you said, Attila actually is going to commit to the AD build. Got the Essence Reaver.
I mean, it depends where he goes here, because I've seen this build where you go Essence Reaver and Ashes.
Is that the one with serrated as well?
Well, there is a serrated one where you go the serrated early for that extra power, but I've seen one where you go, because he's gone double dagger, so we'll see where he goes with his build, but this could be like the Void Seeker poke build, which I wouldn't necessarily agree with your composition, because it's very easy to itemize against. For now, though, I don't think you're really going to dive Phones in this situation. We'll just back away.
I think he's a wee bit too tanky. Didn't have that Call of the Forge God, but just one-shots the wave. And now the commitment here is from GamerLegion into this mid lane. We talked about how they had to be the ones to accelerate the tempo. They're 2,000 gold up. They're 1 dragon apiece between these two teams. Rabble has 4 stacks and is pretty strong on this Kindred as the Antonio is experiencing how strong he is. The red buffs on the red smite is there as well. And Phones going to tank up a lot as Lamabear is taking tower shots. He actually survives. And Attila just about lives. That was so close.
All right, that doesn't count. Attila technically died. He was so close there. That was just a terrible dive. Got lucky. It wasn't more than one, but what a misexecution from the side of Vodafone Giants.
Let's have a look at it again. This is just beautifully executed by Phones.
Yeah, so Phones goes to clear the wave out, gets ulted here. They chain everything together, interrupting his knockup. But then Erdote, why you stop watching that early? You're like 70% HP. That early stopwatch from Erdote killed Lamabear and nearly killed Attila. So that is all on him in this situation.
That's why I say Rabble is finally going to pick up the Rift Herald. Making sure he can use the most use of it possible. And they can just slap it down mid and take this tower.
Look at the CS lead in junglers. 50 CS lead. And look at the level lead. 2 levels up on a Nidalee.
This is what happened in the first game. Lamabear.
Use your words, Jay. Use your words.
Lamabear fell down 4 levels to Rabble.
Yeah.
And because of that, he was able to outsmite him consistently. He was able to out-rotate him consistently and offered more to the team.
Yes, but what I will say is you are playing Sett, who is not really a farming jungler, into Graves, who is a farming jungler. Now we have Nidalee, who is peak farming jungler, into a Kindred, and you're this far behind. It's really rough. It's really rough in all honesty, and it really makes me concerned for the side of Giants, because right now, Corki hasn't got a second item, is looking a little bit weak. Attila is going to move towards, looks like the Ginsu's second item, so still a while away from really being relevant on this champion. Is going to be going that AD build, which I am happy to see, but Giants really aren't in a position to contest. They are behind in goal by about 2,500, and they're just not spiking as hard. So GamerLegion grouping up, they're going to put the Herald down. Not much the Giants could do to stop this.
I wonder whether or not they're going to hold Satchel to try and answer out. The answer from the team is actually to send Attila over. They are going to pop the Satchel early as Rabble catches that Erdote, gets a lot of damage into him. Solar Flare connects onto Pretty into the Mega Inferno Bomb, and Hjarnan finds the kill. A second turret will go down to GamerLegion, and now they're sieging for more. They're going to go even further as the flash comes down. They find everything. Pretty is just slammed and taken out. GamerLegion find everything and step away.
I mean, the return is Attila gets 1 tower top lane. It is not worth it. That's 3 towers going down on the back of 1 push, and they get the 2 kills on the back of it. GamerLegion taking everything, and they're going to get this second dragon for themselves.
And I'm sure for a few people, it looked like maybe they could have committed to take that inhibitor, but actually it was a smart decision because you're just funneling waves into the likes of Attila and Pretty, so they hold it out. It is too early, and I think that's very smart play there. They step back, they get the dragon, they can take that inhibitor when they need to. But for now, it is just open, it is exposed.
Let's look at this itemization from Nite with the...
Oh boy.
Yeah, the adaptive helm. Obviously, it's great against Corki. I mean, there's the 2 items that are great against Corki are like the Randuins, the adaptive, just because they nullify his auto attack damage. But adaptive already, great against Corki, great against Nidalee, great against Kai'Sa. And we'll see here. So you know where you're defending this tower. It's just gone. But this sheer confidence from Rabble going in at Erdote. Erdote misses the hook. Another misplay from me. He's not been having a great game. And then the ult comes in.
Here comes the cupcake.
Still manages to catch him even after the flash, he goes down. And then they continue pushing, and Nite, the confidence here, goes in, flash as well, grabs Pretty, and brings him back on the team. I mean, he Valkyries essentially to an angle, because there's just no way you're getting out in that situation. GamerLegion looking huge. Storm Razor now for Rabble. He is so strong in this Kindred.
Incredibly strong. I mean, there is the Fiends picked up for Lamabear, but it's that level discrepancy. It's just the gold discrepancy. And I mean,
it's 3 levels right now.
Hjarnan's almost got his Leandri's Torment. 3 levels between the junglers.
And the thing is, right, Lamabear is slightly ahead of Erdote and Visdom, but he's in the vicinity of their levels. He's so far behind even the AD carries. That is not where you want your Nidalee to be. It is devastating. Now, GamerLegion going to look to push onto this bot lane tower. No real objection comes in. Antonio could be overstaying a bit here.
What's that about the solar flare? Bopped in, bomb goes down as they use everything if possible to take out the Antonio. Knockup connects as well as the Dota. He will lose his life. That's a double kill for Rabble.
Decimation. Pretty coming in with the package, but I mean, all you're going to essentially do is clear out a wave. The damage has been done. Another tower for GamerLegion. The 6,000 gold up, 5-0-1 on this Kindred. Giants are looking lost in this game.
Rabble has 6 stacks as well now. So 1 away from the next charge. Is it? Well, I don't know what it's called. Upgrade.
Yeah. And
improvement.
Oh, I think it's just gone there.
There you go.
There's another improvement. Extra range. Obviously getting that extra on-hit damage as well, which is great against the likes of Sion. And Poke coming in here.
Lamabear can't farm his own jungle. They are looking for the fight, though. Teleport's being used, and Hjarnan's just chunking Lamabear out. The Antonio teleports in as pretty much all his members have been poked out. Pretty does have that package, though. And Phones may be the one to pay the price for that. This package comes in, and Phones looks to chase him down. Corki is tickling.
I mean, you have to hit to do damage, but even then, it's not doing much. And this is Phones at level 12, level 13, obviously a big spike with the ornaments. Rabble is so confident in game 1 in this game as well. He's been so confident on these junglers, on Graves playing super aggressive, and on this Kindred having the ult backup just means he will step up aggressively. The Antonio feeling confident, you're not a super tank, it does not matter. Decimated, and then the pull-up onto Erdote is just very easy for Gel to pick these targets apart, and Giants, they're left without really an option in this situation. Finally, we have the man immune in for the Corki with the Triforce, but it just feels too little too late. And I think looking at game 1 and 2, it was the early to mid-game transition that really gave the teams a lead. And we've seen that again from GamerLegion. They knew they needed to play around Rabble. They gave themselves a strong skirmish in mid lane to help facilitate that. And they are now in a really comfortable spot. At this point, it's GamerLegion's game to lose. And in 1 minute, they're looking towards their 3rd dragon if they can secure it.
And they're just stealing everything.
Yep.
That's all. Both the double buffs Rabble's walking around with are from the enemy jungler. Coming up after this series, though, we do have 2 of our LFL teams. Actually, our only 2 LFL teams going head-to-head, LDLC and Gamers Origin. Yep. Sorry, there's Misfits.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about Misfits.
That's specifically the storyline we have, because France has 3 teams, so, you know, try and keep on track here. And the big thing is, the winner of this game will face off against the winner of that series. So if you want to see which LFL representative can hold up, you'll have to tune into that game next. Obviously, a bit of friendly fire for the region, but hopefully it'll be sort of trial by fire, and the winner that comes out can do them proud. Now, do you see a lot of leaning towards the Baron area for GamerLegion? That was not intentional from Rabble to start that up.
He danced of arrows to get closer to the ward.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have like Runans and you end up hitting the Baron as well. That is frustrating. By the way, they are moving down towards this dragon area. Giants have already positioned here. TP coming in with the package, I expect. They want to contest this dragon, but
no package. That is big, but they get a big knock-up already. Members are low. The call of the Forge God comes down as they do look for the turnaround. Nite slams the Antonio back as he looks to run away with the phase rush. Everybody's chasing forward, and Rabble flashes in forward, finds himself one. The Antonio's going low. He comes for the charge. Rabble's still alive, and he's going to look for another. But look on the back line. Phones and Nite are just running an absolute muck as Lamabear jumps in forward, but Nite's shield is way too much. Lamabear's going low. Everything's going to go wide, and it's just a complete mop-up from GamerLegion.
Decimation there, and again, the confidence. Nite and Rabble just diving forwards with no fear, and they shred Giants. Baron there for the picking, but I think Rabble going to pick up that dragon first. GamerLegion will take everything.
Yeah, the rest of the team can start up this Baron. They've got the Scryers, they've got the knowledge, but there isn't anyone really about to be able to deal with it. As Dragon gets picked up, Visdom is tanking for the moment. And they're going to move their jungler over.
There's one hope. The one hope for Giants is a Void Seeker. And it's actually the Nash's Tooth has come out from Attila, so go on this AP poke build. Not so sure about it, but Attila, you got a Void Seeker. This is the only way I see you having a chance.
Can he land it? He's going to throw it down. It's going low, but it's not going to be low enough.
Nite blocks it, so good moves from there, and they'll secure the Baron and that Dragon. GamerLegion in a great spot here. We're going to replay of that fight, so smart moves here. Nite and Visdom are the ones face checking. They absorb a lot of that damage, and the disruption that occurs after the ult that forces them to back away. A lot of damage coming down from GamerLegion. At this point, Rabble feels confident to step forwards. The health bars have been thinned. There's not too much threat when he has his ultimate. And it's just people running away from Nite. He's just charging them down with the help of phones. And the backline, there's no threat once again because of the Kindred ultimate. And it allows this front line of Nite and phones to run forwards. Lamabear way too weak. And the shield from Nite is there to block out the damage. Beautiful execution on that fight. And now, Infinity Edge completed for Rabble and the Bolted Edge already.
He is so huge on this Kindred right now.
And again, you know, this I'm gonna say it. This is a losing the Boris moment. Attila, you're the only AD threat in your team. Why are you going the 40% CDR Void Seeker poke build?
Poke feels rough when you're behind.
I mean,
not behind right now.
You're like a full AP team.
Yeah.
There's
Full
very
AP
little
poke.
AD. Yeah, I mean, I just don't agree with it. By the way, he's going to try to get the poke down, but GamerLegion are not hesitating. They are pushing up and taking these inhibitors.
Vodafone Giants are staring down the potential of being knocked out of the tournament.
And the SLO with them.
And the SLO with them. And GamerLegion have single-handedly destroyed the region at this European Masters. As Nite is just going to tank a little bit of this damage. 2 inhibitors go down, and they are looking to put a little bit in here. And it looks like GamerLegion just going to step away now, spend some gold, look to siege up this last inhibitor.
Yep, they have all the time in the world. They're not concerned. Lamabear still level 10. He's 5 levels down on Rabble. He has been decimated this game. He is so far behind. Such a small amount of impact on this Nidalee, and GamerLegion are wasting no time. They are pushing down the spot lane tower. Giants need to fight now.
It's do or die. Can Giants keep the SLO alive as the charge comes in and Nite is there? The call of the Forge God gonna knock up one. The Antonio has to flash away and the package is dropped defensively by Pretty. All of the carries are trying to heal up to get back into the base, get back into the scrap. GamerLegion's health bars still pretty healthy for the moment. The charge is coming down. Here comes the Sion. Rabble is untouched and the turrets are gonna go down. A massive face breaker pulls everybody in and the Antonio will lose his life. It's a double kill for Rabble. The towers are falling. The minion waves are coming in. And GamerLegion have done it. They have single-handedly knocked all of the SLO out of the European Masters as they look to pad the stats on the Nexus. But he can't quite close it out, Yao. And this is going to be the game. GamerLegion will be going forward to the semi-finals.
What a decimation of a whole region. I don't think we've seen this before, where one team is responsible for knocking out all 3 teams from a region, and a region like the SLO as well. And you got to remember, GamerLegion are the 3rd seed for the Dark. Their 1st seed is still in this tournament. It sets a level for this region that, other than the LFL, I feel like you're going to struggle to match.
It's honestly looking like GamerLegion, I think they've honestly got what it takes to make it to finals. Honestly, after seeing the performance they've had so far, and obviously they will be taking on one of the LFL representatives, one of the 3 LFL representatives we got in this tournament. If they can punch through that, I mean, they are honestly going to look like...
they're in the final.
Yeah, but they're going to look like one of the strongest contenders we've had in this tournament. And I think we all slept on GamerLegion a little bit.
Yeah, I think if they win the next round, they're top 2. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But,
oh, God. It's so hard with you sometimes.
It was just a huge game, and I think in particular, Rabble this series was devastating.
Yeah.
Game 1 he was, Game 2 not as much impact, but this Game 3 on the Kindred, the sheer confidence to get invaded level 1 and refuse to accept it, and then to, you know, make the smart decision, left the camps up, was playing around the map.
Yeah.
He found an advantage through playing the jungle better, and then he ran away with that. You saw how aggressive he was on the Kindred. I was thinking, oh, great, they have a Kindred. You can ult the backline and keep Hjarnan safe. He didn't care about that. He was like, I am going forwards, and if anyone challenges me, I have my ult as a get-out-of-jail-free card. He devastated the side of Vodafone Giants.
Yeah, I mean, the whole team just looked really, really good. But with that, guys, we'll be wrapping it out here. We'll be getting ready to come actually and be joined by Visdom after the break to break that game down a little bit more. So we'll see you after the break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Masters, where GamerLegion are the first team to qualify forward into the semi-finals. Now, unfortunately, we are having some issues trying to get Visdom in. We should have him in hopefully soon, but for now, that means I am unfortunately stuck alone with you to break down that series, Dan.
Not very nice.
I know, but you make my life hard. All right, let's talk a little bit about that game in general, that series in general. This was just game 1, Rabble. He was really, really good. Game 2, not so good. Game 3, incredible.
Yep. All I'm going to say is jungle's an OP role. It felt like the team who came from the early transition into a strong mid lane, objective control as well was a massive factor, as you'd expect in any League of Legends game. But it felt like the games that Rabble was on fire is obviously the games that we saw a win from GamerLegion. Like game 2, Giants managed to answer back. You know, there was a strong performance from Attila that we typically expect. There was Lamabear and Pretty finding some pressure, particularly Pretty when the LeBlanc was huge. But GamerLegion were consistent, and Rabble, when he finds the right opportunities, when he's in a game where he's got a good matchup, he just decimated.
It just feels like when Rabble's feeling comfortable, he reads the map well. On the Skarner, he didn't look comfortable, so he kind of just sat back. But when he was comfortable, he just took over.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you watch back that game 3, you can see how much dead time there was for Lamabear, where he was literally just doing nothing. And that's because the right decision was made from Rabble.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this series came down to decision making, and that's really what elevated the teams. In game 1, I will 100% say GamerLegion had the better decision making. In game 3 as well. And game 2, it really came down to that swap from Vodafone Giants that gave them that early advantage, but that wasn't enough. It's a strategy that can work in a one-off. We saw that in the LEC, but it's not going to work over a series if a team is prepared for it.
Absolutely. Now you can see the bracket on your screens right now. Obviously, coming up after this, we actually have LDLC versus Gamers Origin, and this will be our two of our 3 LFL teams going against each other. What do you think?
I think that GamerLegion will be facing up against a French team in the semifinals.
I really thought I was going to get something serious from you there.
Well, if you want my actual prediction, I think Gamers Origin are the strongest French team, despite not being the first seed, so I expect them to be facing up against GamerLegion.
That's going to be a really rough one to watch when you're GamerLegion and Gamers Origin. GamerLegion and Gamers Origin.
Yep,
one of them's plural, one of them's not. So it's going to be a bit of a mouthful on that one. But how do you think they're going to fare then versus either one of these teams? Because obviously we don't know who's going to win. You know, coming into this, I thought Vodafone Giants had it, but actually,
I think it's hard to read, in all honesty. I think GamerLegion look good, but I think Gamers Origin look really good. And if LDLC can beat Gamers Origin, then I am even more feared. I think ultimately it's a hard ask. I think LFL at the moment are looking like the strongest region.
Yeah.
I think DAC is a close second, but really my front runner to challenge LFL is Mouse. We'll have to see. I think today was definitely convincing from the side of GamerLegion, but we need to see them continue to grow. Because I think the big thing is we saw growth between group stages and this series. I want to see more of that before the next series. Look at the mistakes you made, look at how you can improve from that, and then hopefully when they go up against that French representative, they're at full power and able to challenge them.
From the way things are going, and from the way I look at the bracket, there is a chance that we see a DAC versus DAC finals or a LFL versus LFL finals. So we could actually see our first finals a while, I think, actually, where it's been multiple regions clashing head to head. And, you know, I think that's great for the regions, but for us at home, it's like if you're not from those regions, it's really fun to see.
Like a throwback to the Korean dominated world.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, right? I want to see DAC versus LFL finals personally.
Yeah.
I think it makes the stakes even higher for both of the teams or both of the regions. That's what I'm hoping for.
My prediction, if it is going to be DAC against LFL finals, I mean, to be honest, my general prediction is I think Gamers Origin Mouse Sports is what I'm currently feeling. But things can change. I think the big thing that's happened to C Masters, we've had a lot of upsets, a lot of shifting power levels and expectations. A lot of teams who came in, Movistar, for example, who I was pretty sure would get out of groups, didn't, which is a massive upset. And the fact that the SLO, this is the first time ever the SLO hasn't got to top 4. And I mean, I haven't checked this because this is such a unique scenario I wouldn't have checked. But I don't think we've ever had one team knock out 3 teams from the same region.
Yeah. I genuinely don't think we have. I think
it's such a weird thing to happen, but it's literally... So if you haven't been following the earlier stages, in play-ins, it was G2 Arctic, the 3rd seed for the SLO, and it was the knockout portion of that they knocked out, and then obviously there was tiebreakers in groups, and then here there was... And it's not just the fact that they were in a group with them. It's the fact they personally knocked them out, which is the big thing.
Right, well, I mean, GamerLegion, fantastic showing for them. They've made it through to the semi-finals. Now, guys, we are unable to get Visdom in, so we're going to have to take a quick break here. And when we're back with our second series. It's LDLC versus Gamers Origin. We'll see you in a second.
Hey Hey everyone, and welcome to the EU Masters, where we pit the very best ERL teams against one another while showcasing up-and-coming European talent. 12 regions will compete to decide who will reign supreme over Europe, so be the first to scout and the first to cheer. Let's get right into it. EU Masters begins with the play-in group stage, where all regions will have at least one team represented, with a total of 16 teams divided into 4 groups. Here, each team will play against other teams in their group twice, with the top 2 seeds moving on to the play-in knockout stage. The winners here will move on to the group stage, where 12 teams have already pre-qualified. This group stage is where the teams will compete in a double round robin, with the top 2 teams advancing to the knockout stage. From September 15th to 16th, like before, top seeds will play against the second-seeded teams from other groups in a best-of-3, with winners moving on to the semi-finals. Here, the final 4 teams will play a best-of-3 and fight for their spot in the finals, where it'll be a best-of-5 to determine the next EU Masters champion. Each season, fresh talent explodes onto the Rift. The likes of Nemesis, Kazi, Selfmade and Humanoid all rose up through the EU Masters. But who will be this year's champion? Who will be the next breakout player to make it into the LEC? Join the ride, tag along and witness history in the making. Bye for now.